Okay, here we are on the activity 3.1.6, and I'm just going to do a quick video to kind of get you started on this because there's a lot of pages involved in this. And if you look here under equipment, you can see we've got different diagrams we're going to use. We've got some load tables we've got to use. You've got to use your building site that we've already talked about, or your building that we've already talked about. So there's a lot of papers involved here. So starting here with procedure, in order to create the second level of our library, we need to know what kind of slab we're going to use for our second floor. So we're going to research each of the floor systems that we could use and decide which one's best. You're going to label the components of each system in the detail of the floor at the structural steel beams. And if you look at the back or the second page, here's our two we're going to look at: composite slab design, cast in place, and the hollow core. Those are the two we're going to consider. And they've conveniently already drawn them for you at the beam here. On each one has a beam already. And we're just going to have to label these different parts, what these are. You can use the PowerPoint, or you can look these up on Mr. Google. He's very smart. And then it says, for each system, use the appropriate load span tables. So I've given you those load span tables, and I'm going to give you a quick how-to on those to get the most economical floor plans. And in other words, we're going to be filling in this information on each of these. And then we're going to also highlight actually on the tables to show that you really looked it up on the tables. And we're going to fill those in. So first, this is the slab cast in place design. So let's see if I can find my composite floor deck. That's this one. So we're going to be, here's my table that I'm going to be using for this one. And I also need, no, that one, this one. So composite slab. Here is my framing design for my composite slab. Be sure you look right here that you got the right one. So this one shows that we're going to have 3 spans for our composite slab here. And we're going to use a clear span of 10 foot because each one of these is 10 foot. So looking back at this one, I'm going to be using the 10 foot clear span here. And we said we're going to be using 150 PSF. So we're going to look this up on the table here, just like we did on the PowerPoint. Then you'll also need to look up here to see what size of welded wire frame you need, and then you'll be filling those in on here. Don't forget to check the unshored clear span. Remember, that's the part we checked right here. This is just like the PowerPoint. The other one we're going to do is the hollow core, and that's the other pages you have. That's this one, hollow core, that we're going to use. And we see a little diagram here that goes with it. And we're also going to use this one here. And I know this is the hollow core because if I scroll down, I can see hollow core precast panels. This is the one I'm going to use for that. So on here, notice it says precast panels may span in either direction. That means that I could do them this way, where they need to have a 24 foot clear span distance, or I could run them the other way and have 30 foot. So when I look at my span here, I may need to use the 30 foot, and I may need to use the 24 foot. Let me just tell you a little bit about this table here. Notice that yours is in black and white, but here we're talking about this is controlled by the service. This is controlled by shear. Shear is when two things are sliding past each other. Think of scissors. That's shear force. Or the ultimate strength. We really want to be below this dark line if at all possible, because we don't want shear to be how our floor would fail. So I'm either going to use the 30 or the 24. I'm still using the same load. And then I'm going to go over here to find the number of strands that I need. The number of strands are like the rebar, and they get placed right in here in between those hollow cores. The slab width is always the same here, and the distance here is always the same. So you'll be using this diagram here to help you fill in some of these little pieces right here. Then, after you get all that filled in, decide which floor system you would use for the Keystone Library and justify your choice. That means write out why you'd use that one. We are not going to do number 7. You can just mark skip for this one. We are not doing number 7. We're not going to go back and put it in Revit. But I do want you to answer 8 through 11 in your engineering notebook, or in your engineering notebook. There's not space here. And then put this all in your engineering notebook and turn it in to have it graded. Okay, that's it for this commercial floor plans. Thanks for watching.